Lonely Monk Productions. I don't know if y'all have heard Leave a Light On by Suge Daniels yet, but yo.
That's my Jawn!
Hey, yo, displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. You're tasting things that don't need to be measured. You ain't
What's good, friends and family, neighbors near and far? Welcome to an all-new episode of the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast. The podcast, website, brand, movement, way of life dedicated to the embrace and championing of your passions. I am your host, Nate Runkle, a.k.a. the man who has never in his life been hated by anyone the way Kendrick Lamar hates Drake, a.k.a. Nate 3.0. Back at it again with yet another episode of the podcast. As always, I hope this podcast finds you all in good health and in good spirits. On today's episode, I am joined for a conversation with Ciara Grace. Ciara is an amazing new singer-songwriter on the scene, and we talk about her upcoming debut release, Write It Down. And, you know, we didn't talk about this, but she just celebrated a birthday this past weekend, and I just celebrated a birthday on Thursday. We're birthday pals, and we didn't even know it. No wonder we had such a great chat. And that chat is coming up in a minute here. But first, what is up? I hope you are all doing well, and I hope you are all enjoying hip-hop dominating the discourse as Kendrick and Drake are out here battling back and forth. As of this recording, Drake has just dropped the latest track, and I keep refreshing the feeds waiting for Kung Fu Kenny to clap back. My guy is on full goon mode. Man, I love a good battle. And this, y'all, this is one for the ages. You know, speaking of hip-hop, longtime listeners of the podcast have probably noticed that we have a new theme song that intros and outros the show this season. And I just realized that I don't think I've spoken about it yet or shared it. So let me do that right now. Okay, so the lyrics are expanded from the original theme that we've been using for the past 4 years. I took my verse from the G-Love Love from Philly acoustic remix that I dropped a ways back, and I've been using them whenever playing the theme live. So here they are now as part of the song. And the music to it, the music is an original composition that uses elements from a sample pack that was released by Sarah of Illuminati Hotties, who have a new song out, and it's a banger, and I'm sure you'll hear more about it on Too Old, Too New with Nate and Bruce, coming soon. Sarah herself called the theme song awesome and creative, and guys, that fills me with so much joy. That, of course, is her voice sampled on the JJAAWN. So I feel like I should be able to say that this theme song is by Nate 3.0 featuring Illuminati Hotties, right? Anyway, I want to play the full thing here for you one time, so, you never get to hear it because it's faded out and it's spoken over each week. And so enjoy it. Here, this is the Yo, That's My Jawn theme song featuring Illuminati Hotties by Nate 3.0. Enjoy.
That's my Jawn!
Hey, yo, displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. You're tasting things that don't need to be measured. You ain't being judged, you won't get a score. So what the fuck is you faking it for? If you like it, admit it, don't quit it. You feel what you feel, man, you with it, come with it. Don't feel a bit of shame. Even if the world thinks that it's shiz lame, yo, tilt your head back, go ahead and get gone. Shout to the world, yo, that's my Jawn. I'm from the world of the 215. And like always, I've been kicking it live. Big shouts to my homie G-Love. Shouts to Chuck Treese, to the man up above. I rep the city of Hall & Oates. The Roots, Will Smith, Jazzy Jeff, the Goats. Hall of Fame, know the name, Gamble and Huff. Philly INT, yeah, that's the stuff. Tierra Whack, Meek Mill, Jedi Mind Tricks. Freeway, Neat, Fuck Young Chris. Eve, Bilal, Jill Scott, Amos Lee. Music Soul Child, shouts to Black Lily. I rep for the city of Beanie Siegel and the EAGLES Eagles. Go Birds. Tilt your head back, go ahead and get gone. Yo, tilt your head back, go ahead and get gone. Tilt your head back, go ahead and get gone. Tilt your head back, and shout to the world, yo, that's my Jawn.
Kind of dope, right? I dig the hell out of that. All right, guys, if you're not on our mailing list, I'm telling you, you have to get on it. Okay, I know I've been slacking at sending out correspondence, but I'm about to get back on top of it. So if you want to receive all of the news surrounding this show and everything else I am a part of, please visit www.yothat'smyjawn.com and sign on up. And while you're there, you can find links to the website, to the socials, to previous episodes of the podcast, to other shows I produce, to merchandise. All things Nate are up there at www.yothat'smyjawn.com. So give it a visit. Swell. All right, you guys ready for this show? Well, let's do it. My guest today is a rising singer-songwriter who is set to release her debut album this Friday, May 10th, entitled Write It Down. Co-produced by two-time Grammy Award-winning producer and engineer Glenn Barrett, the 12-song album was fueled by her passion for eclectic and expressive artists like Lorde, Fiona Apple, and Lucy Dacus, but rich with her own particular life experience and growing gift for seasoned songcraft. Folks, it is my honor to welcome to the show, Ciara Grace. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined today by the great Ciara Grace. Ciara, thank you for joining me on Yo, That's My Jawn.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to be here.
So one of the things I always like to start every conversation out with is some kind of point of connection that I have to the guest and whatnot, and with you. So when the press release first came through my inbox and I'm reading through and I see Morningstar Studios, East Norton, I'm like, oh my God, my neighbor, because I'm an Ambler. Okay,
oh, really?
Yeah. So
I used to live directly in Ambler actually before we moved to here.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, right around the corner from. Sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. No. But then I find out. Did you graduate North Penn?
I did.
So we went to the same high school because I used to live in North Wales.
Man. Yeah, at school it was something. It was definitely something.
Well, it was much bigger when you were there than when I was there. Not that it was small at any point, but
I think my graduating class had around 1,500 kids.
Okay. We had a small one for even like the year ahead of us and the year behind us. We're in the thousands, but we were only around like I think mid 600, something like that. So
actually sounds kind of nice.
It was all right. But again, thank you so much for doing this. I always like to start things out in the Wayback Machine. So tell me a little bit about growing up. Clearly, we're from the same area, but
oh, absolutely, yeah. So I was about to say I used to live in Ambler, right around the corner from like Wissahickon and Middle School, and my dad had a studio there first that was right near where I also went to preschool. So it was like very, very close together. We moved here to this when I was around 7, and the studio my dad currently works at was actually a NASCAR garage before he had it converted, which was pretty cool. I'm a huge animal person. My mom and I don't trust us to go to shelters. We bring them all home. I think we've probably got 12 or 13 animals right now as I'm speaking, of all flavors. We've got dogs, cats, birds, horses. It really doesn't stop over here. And I mean, you've probably gathered this from the press releases I've done so far, but I've like completely grown up around music. My mom's a singer-songwriter, so I've had the really unique opportunity to, kind of be able to sit there and watch her go through the process of like writing her albums and producing them and getting to talk to all her musicians, and then going through it myself with the same musicians. And, my dad is the engineer. It was very, very cool.
That's awesome. So, like you said, your dad runs the studio, your mom, a singer-songwriter. Was there ever any kind of rebellious point in your childhood when you were like, I don't want to do music? No.
Yeah, I thought it was too easy for me. I was like, this isn't fair. Like, there's probably someone out there much more deserving who like doesn't have all this stuff. I wanted to be a criminal psychologist. Even now I'm in college for psychology. I want to be the person they put in the room, like figure out what's wrong with this dude.
That's incredible. And then write a song about it. What was your first taste in instruments? I mean, obviously they were clearly all around the house, but what
always. Guitar, definitely guitar. And it wasn't even like strict lessons. It would be, my parents and I watching something at home in the evening, and dad's like, here, let me show you an A chord. Let me show you an A minor. And just over time, I built up enough of them to play cohesively.
Yeah. Did it come easy to you or?
I think so. I don't fully remember because I started playing probably when I was like 4 or 5, and I think by 12 I had it pretty down pat, at least
Yeah.
chords and strumming.
Yeah. When did you do any music in school?
I was in choir. I played cello very briefly in 4th grade. Um, I enjoyed it, but it was not for the weak lugging that instrument back and forth. Yeah, basically just chorus in school though. I've
Yeah.
always really liked to sing.
That's cool. So you're around all of this music. When does like writing start? Like, are you kind of writing all the time, or?
Yeah, I try to be, even if it's not songs, I just try to like kind of get down a stream of consciousness, just to keep them going. For this album, I didn't really know that I had the capacity to write like good songs until I got broken up with. Kind of lit a fire in me. But yeah, ever since then, I try not to stop.
Yeah. So like gathering from the press release, the majority of this album came from high school experience and whatnot. Were the songs kind of, I mean, clearly they're not going to be where they're at now because it takes work, but the genesis of the songs, were they always kind of in your mind, a bigger production like this, or did they start out just kind of acoustic singer-songwriter?
They definitely just started out like acoustic singer-songwriter. It would be like 2 a.m. and I'd be playing the 5 chords I knew in different combinations. But my dad was begging me to come and, record them and try and lay some tracks down. And it wasn't until like the second or third demo through it where we had the musicians in to kind of start tinkering around with it that it really felt real. I was like, oh my God, this is real music.
Yeah. Well, it's wild to me because like it feels like it hasn't been kind of worked on for a while. Like it feels very current.
Thank you.
And it's incredible. Like it sounds like absolutely incredible. How much I know your dad's kind of listed as a co-producer on it. How much input and like is it challenging to kind of work with your dad and be like no, please no, like or
Not fully. My dad and I have like a very good relationship. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. It wasn't difficult at all. And the majority of it was us kind of sitting together in a room, going through his long lists of like sound catalogs. My God, he has so many of them. And just, being like, does this sound cool? Does this sound good? And then, there were some times he'd make executive decisions over mixing and mastering stuff. And I trust his input more than I trust my ears. But yeah, no, I wasn't uncomfortable at all, and it was super fun to be able to kind of experiment with that in a way I hadn't.
That's cool. The I'm gonna jump all over the place because I have ADD.
Go ahead.
It's just
Go ahead.
we're everywhere. Performing out though, like what did you always have like a performer bone in your body?
I think so. I don't remember it, but my sisters and we would all go to my mom's show, and I'd be like 3 years old, and I'd run up on stage, and I knew how to lower the mics because I'd seen my dad do it in the studio, and I try to take the attention for myself. My mom has always been dragging me up on stage to like sing a song with her or dance around, so I've never really been afraid of it.
Yeah. Have you guys ever thought about a family band album, like a collaboration across the generations?
After group therapy, then absolutely.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So when did you you said that it took like a few demos before you kind of found the voice of the album or whatnot. When did you decide that you wanted to sit down to do the album though?
Again, it was probably around the vein. I was like 16. I'd been bringing a few tracks to my dad every now and then, and he kind of like weaseled me into it, being like, let me just get the band's already here. Let me just have them put a little bit on this, and whatnot. And then it got to the point where it's like, I'm sitting here and we're looking at 12 full songs. He's like, this is an album. And so I think from there, it was commitment. It was getting the pictures ready, what we wanted it to look like aesthetically, getting the band in to like fine tune some stuff.
The were you working on this over the pandemic-ish period of life?
Yeah, we got a big chunk of time to work on the pandemic. It was great.
And you know, I've seen like I actually I was watching a video of, it looked like a songwriter circle of your mom and you both performing and whatnot. What's it been like, kind of playing this stuff out and like getting to kind of?
So much fun. I don't want to sound like an attention seeker or anything, but I feel so grateful to have people like come out and like want to listen to me. Like, it's because usually, I mean, in the past when I've been up on stage, like it's been fun and I've enjoyed it, but it's like I know you're here to see my mom, and I'm kind of just like hi in the back. But it's been so awesome just to feel like I'm doing something that matters to someone, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So playing out and stuff like that. Obviously, the production is back to the kind of singer songwriter and stuff like that. Is there a plan to put like a big band together to kind of get this stuff out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the band I'm working with now, they're all phenomenal, but they're so beyond they all have jobs teaching music in important colleges. But yeah, we're definitely going to try to put something together over the summer or into the fall, so I can play out more with that kind of the big production.
Yeah. Again, mentioning that you went through, multiple demos of this and whatnot. Are you comfortable now to the point where you feel like you've found your voice? Like, do you think this perfectly encapsulates like what you've wanted to do? Or do you, I know like everybody always says, oh, I'm always going to grow. It's never, I'm never, but do you feel comfortable, I guess is what I'm saying, with how it turned out and where you're at now?
You caught me. I was definitely going to divert this into I'm still growing. But for where I was at, like, this feels very indicative. Like, the whole album feels very indicative of where I was in my life when I was writing it, and it makes me feel pretty nostalgic. Like, even the production to the lyrics just really nails down. I think it's a good representation of myself and my voice right now.
Yeah. Is it interesting? Now I know you're not an old person like me, so like 16 wasn't very long ago, but is it interesting, like kind of revisiting these feelings and emotions and kind of carrying them over, having grown past that?
A little bit, but and somehow, in some ways, the songs almost take on a new meaning when I get to play them live so often, and someone will come up to me and be like, "Oh, I really related this to this," or "This really made me think of that," and it's like, "Oh, I mean, it belongs to everyone who relates to it now."
Yeah, of course. So like you said there's 12 songs, I think 11, 12?
11, 12, yeah, I think maybe
okay. 11. It's great. There's so much good stuff on here, but I gotta tell you right now that like I'm a production nerd, and so Play Pretend is like crack cocaine to me. Like, it just sounds so good.
That was we put the most effort into that one, just because we had so many ideas of where it could go, and I was so adamant. I was like, I want it to speed up in the bridge, and my dad was like, no, we can't do it, and I was like, yes, we can.
It's incredible, and not just from a production standpoint, but from a songwriting standpoint. Like, it's just it feels fully realized. How long did it take to kind of you just said you put a lot into it, but how long did it take to kind of get the genesis into like the magic that we hear on the album now?
Wow. I mean, from writing it, I always kind of knew where it was going to fit musically, like in that kind of angsty, dark kind of feeling. I wanted it to have like modern touches of not even necessarily like hip hop, but like just kind of some modern beats going with it, because it didn't take very long at all. I mean, the first few demos of that one kind of nailed down where we really want like that gritty bass. We want a bunch of these floaty noises coming in, and it kind of made itself. It was really incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah, like it definitely stood out to me the first few times I listened to it. I kept coming back to that track. Like, it absolutely, like I said, scratches that nerdy producer itch in my head.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other one early on the album is "Don't Love Me Now," which lyrically, absolutely, like. I mean, no disrespect or belittling behind this. It does not feel like a high school kid wrote that song, because like it's one of those things that like there's things in there where I'm just like, man, you are wise beyond your years if you're 16 telling somebody else this.
Thank you. I always tell everyone it's like this album specifically was just me having horrible romantic decisions with like awful self-awareness.
It's awesome. It's like
Thank you.
I also in the reading and the press releases and some of the other interviews and stuff like that. It all seems to come back to this one person you met in detention, who and the detention is mentioned. Oh, that rhymes. Detention mentioned. Sorry, has this person heard this album?
Not that I've shown him.
Okay.
I couldn't say other than that, but he'll know. Yes. I'm not shy about it. Whatever.
It's awesome. No, it's cool. I always thought that would be like the coolest thing. Well, the coolest and worst thing in the world is to be like driving in a car and hear like, here's a new song from, and it's like, oh, I know that person. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute.
Honestly, he was such an attention whore. He probably loved it.
No. They usually do.
Yeah.
So the album comes out a week, month from today. I almost said a week, May 10th. Well, it'll actually be this will air 2 weeks before the album comes out. So in 2 weeks it'll be out. But anyway, people already know that this isn't live. Intentionally releasing like on a summer break so that you can put this out there, or
yeah, I think I get out of college a week after the album comes out, so all my finals done. But yeah, I didn't want to be in the middle of having to do schoolwork, and like I really want to promote the album and like get out there and play it in front of people. So yeah, that was definitely intentional.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Any chance of tour, or are you just looking for what kind of shows you can get out there and play?
I'm not like locking myself into anything. I really like playing like the singer-songwriter rounds, and I would love to have more opportunities to play with the whole band, but I'm enjoying myself and honing my craft.
Yeah. And like I said, I always jump around. When you were kind of younger and starting to kind of write your own songs and stuff like that, who were you, what kind of inspirations were you sitting on? Like what were you listening to?
Oh man, definitely Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was actually usually the only thing my parents and I could all agree to listen to in the car. So lots of her. My mom, I was listening to her write and sing at all hours of the day from one room or another in the house. A lot of my like older sisters, like 2010 emo music, My Chemical Romance, My Chemical Romance, all that stuff. Lorde, always Lorde. She's so good. But yeah, lots of inspirations though.
Yeah. You talk about your mother being an inspiration. Here's I always like to throw these things out to people. I just give them ideas. And if you want to run with it, you run with it. If not, you throw it away like you throw away trash. But here's an idea. Have you guys thought about covering each other's songs? And maybe putting out a 7-inch.
I actually cover one of her songs in this upcoming album, Jesus or Elvis. She wrote.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I love it. And I felt like it kind of fit the moody vibe I was going for. But I would love it if she'd cover one of my songs. She actually turned 50 and decided she is going to be a painter instead of a singer-songwriter.
Oh.
Which I think is hysterical. But yeah, that's her life journey right now.
It's an awesome pivot. Like, is she a good painter?
She's actually really good. Yeah. Lots of animal scenes.
Okay. All right. You talk about the animal rescue and stuff like that. You ride horses. Did you used to compete with that too? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, when I could afford to do it.
Right.
It's such a money pit, but yeah, it's really just, they're so cool. They're like large dogs, and I just feel incredibly fortunate to be able to interact with them.
Yeah. You still have horses?
We have 2 right now.
Names?
Mine is Spoons. He's funny. He used to be a racehorse actually, because you can get those for real cheap. And yeah, he's a funny boy. And then my mom has a quarter horse, so kind of like the cowboy horses from Montana that she bought off Facebook.
You can buy horses on Facebook?
Oh yeah. You'd be surprised. Facebook Marketplace is popping. But yeah, it arrived. She bought it sight unseen, and it surprisingly arrived here unbroken. So
wow.
all good.
That's incredible. It's funny you mentioned Facebook Marketplace because you know how the internet works and how cookies work. You click on one thing and all of a sudden that's all you see anymore. And now in my Facebook Marketplace, the only thing that comes up is like people getting rid of pianos for free. And I'm trying to figure out like how I
What did you say?
I was looking for free pianos. I just but I'm now trying to find a way to convince my wife to let me just bring a free piano into our house. Like, you don't have to pay for it. It's just going to take up space.
That actually sounds like a great deal.
Yeah.
I'll vouch for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Listen, Katie, this is what's going on. We're getting teamed up on it. But anyway, it's funny too, because like her reason against it is, they're getting rid of it because it takes up space. And I'm like, no, I know. I get it. Exactly.
It's fine.
Thank you.
I know musicians who put a drum kit in their bathroom because they have no more room, but they got to get it in there.
Got it. Yeah. Well, that's also on the list. Don't let her hear that.
Oh, it adds an ambiance, if anything.
A bathroom drum sounds like an album title or a band title to me.
It's the next one. It's the next one for me.
It's a perfect segue. So like, I know this album's coming out in a few weeks here, but you're clearly still writing and you're still have you given thought to what's next?
Yeah, actually I'll give you a little teaser. My dad and I were actually planning to do like an EP because I wrote like hundreds of songs for this past album, and I kind of was really picky about which ones I wanted to go on and to make it cohesive. But I wanted to do an EP of a bunch of others that I wrote for it but didn't put on, but I still really love. So
that's
that is
awesome.
Next. Yeah, hopefully over the summer. And then another album.
Yeah.
Definitely at some point if I'm fortunate enough.
Has the work on this kind of influenced your songwriting at all? Like, are you looking into kind of different avenues or sounds?
Definitely. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
just because this past album was like very majorly written on guitar or piano. I'm really excited to kind of start producing first almost, and then trying to fit what I've written into that in a different avenue. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Speaking of producing, have you any interest in kind of you're following in the path of your mother at this point, but have you any interest in following the path of your father and producing other people's work or anything? Or
I've thought about it honestly because not to be morbid, but the studio is going to be mine at some point, and it'd be really cool if I could pick up where he left off, even if one day I decide I don't want to write and sing anymore. At least I'm still involved in music. But he claims it would take 40 years just to teach me how to go through all the sounds on his catalog. So maybe one day.
You better get started.
Oh yeah.
Having access to a studio like that, what's that like? Like you said you've written hundreds of songs and stuff. Are there demos of everything? Like because you can pretty much track it right away.
Buried somewhere. Oh my God. I was writing a lot when I was like 15 too, probably right before like all the good songs about life started coming. And I recorded demos over here because Dad wanted me to, and he'll still pull them up occasionally and be like, listen to how good this sounds. I'm like, no, let it lie.
Awesome. And this is the other thing I always throw out to people. These early things deserve to be on Bandcamp so that people can pay at least $1 and hear these things.
That's fair. Or else he's going to blackmail me with them one day.
That also is probably going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
So what's the approach on essentially selling this album? Like, are you doing any music videos for it or?
Yeah, it's in the works. We have a bunch of ideas. We're kind of bouncing around. I'm still getting used to like being in the whole situation of having to like roll out an album press release kind of thing. I'm investing heavily in TikTok as someone in my young 20s. But I'm more concerned right now just getting people to be able to hear it, whether you like it or hate it. I want you to listen to it and be aware that it exists.
Yeah. Are you doing any physical release on this, or is this
I do have a few shows planned out around the time of the release, if that's what you're asking about.
No, like vinyl or no, you're good. Vinyl or CD or
definitely CDs. I'm holding back on vinyl right now just because I don't know. I want to wait until I have a bit more of like a following behind me before I commit to that. But they're beautiful. I'd really like to do it one day.
Yeah.
Definitely CDs.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, very cool. The mentioning the release. Are you doing any release shows coming up or?
I am. I'm doing one actually at the studio itself, right around when it's released. And then hopefully another one. Have you ever been to the Royal in Glenside?
Yes.
Yes, it's so cute there. I'm really hoping to lock down a date for that place. That's actually where I played the other night for the singer-songwriter circle.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. I got a few friends who play there on the regular or whatnot.
Yeah, it's a super cute little venue.
Yeah. So with that coming up and all of that excitement, this is like kind of I mean, I know you're going into finals, but your last calm before the hectic summer of releasing. Like, how excited are you for this?
I'm so excited. I'm like, it doesn't fully feel real. I know like May 10th is gonna run around and I'm gonna go on Spotify the next day and see like a full body of work, but it feels so surreal. I don't know. The years have
Yeah.
kind of blended into each other.
Totally. I get it. Like it's wild because like you've put so much time into this and like now it's about to be out there and people are going to listen to it.
I know. I mean, this was probably like 4 years of work. Um, yeah, I'm just so unbelievably proud, and I hope people appreciate it for what it is.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Like I said, it's absolutely phenomenal. Like it, and
Thank you.
it sounds just so incredible.
Thank you.
What so being in school, see how I jump all over the place? This is
You're
so
good. You're good. I'm following.
being in school, what was the process of kind of working on it while you were like are you going to school locally or are you
Yeah, I my school is probably like 40 minutes away from my house, so
okay.
and I kind of restricted my classes to 2 days a week, so I just bang them all out, and then whenever I can, I'm home doing stuff.
Oh, that's smart. That's super
Yeah.
smart. Much smarter than I was. Shouldn't be surprising. I was
No.
pretty dumb. Still am. So you're going for psych. What year is this of school?
Junior. This is the end of my junior year.
Wow.
A little terrifying.
Yeah, a
Mm.
little bit. Is there like any big kind of senior projects that you have to do for your discipline there, or?
Not fully. We have this thing called senior seminar, which is where they kind of assign you to, it's not like fully an internship, but it's like places that sponsor like psych students to come like look around and see the different jobs that are available like right now. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for that.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then you're gonna graduate and you're also going to have this release. Let's just say and put the good energy out there that this is a glowing success. You're still
Yeah.
going to finish this year, correct? Like you're not going to be
Yes.
like okay.
My parents and I have like debated about me taking a semester off senior year just to try and get everything flowing really with this one because I don't want to. It's hard splitting your time between multiple things, and I feel like I can't fully dedicate myself one way or the other. But I definitely want to finish college at some point.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Just to eat, just have in your back pocket, like
Yeah.
and I only say that as an old man who works in a warehouse. But
No, I can't.
yeah, it's the warehouse isn't great. No, but no, I'm just teasing. Was there any thought given to holding off releasing the album until you were done, or were you just ready to get this out?
There was a bit of talks in that, but I just wanted to get it out. Like as much as I love the album, there's like a disconnect almost sometimes because it's like I am almost 21 and I wrote all these songs like 4+ years ago. And I can't imagine being like 22, 23, having to bring up all my high school relationships. But I'm very happy to get this out now.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense. Yeah, especially like living with it that long. Like, is it a challenge at all to still stay interested in playing these songs, or like, or do you freely mix in kind of the newer stuff that you're working on when you're playing?
Both. Like there's always something I can connect to about my old songs. Like I remember how it felt when I was writing them, and I'm always able to tap into that. But when I'm out, I'll usually do one or two newer songs I've written just to kind of keep it new, keep it fresh.
Yeah. Is it? It's so I know you said you got a bunch that you want to put on the EP, but for the future stuff, can you kind of see that album forming? Like, do you have an idea of some of the songs that you've written that will probably take lead in that, or?
I do. There's a few songs that I'm really kind of pressing for the next album that I won't put on the EP. But as for like aesthetics and the kind of vibe I'm going for, I'm shooting off in like a million different directions about what I want to commit to and do.
Yeah, I dig it. I absolutely dig it. At this time, you want to go through the Jauntlet? This is my questionnaire that I ask everybody.
Absolutely. I have my answers written down.
Oh, nice. Good. I like somebody who comes prepared. That's excellent. It starts with the one-hit wonders, and it's a category and name only. The first one, Billy Joel or Elton John? Who do you prefer?
Billy Joel.
Yeah?
I love him. He was great and and just being Elton. But Billy Joel songs like Zanzibar, Vienna, has just gotten me through so many long nights.
That's awesome. Did you get a chance to see him when he was in town last year?
I did not, but
It's a bummer.
he'll be around again.
Yeah.
He's always popping up.
That's right. I dig it. Next one, Debbie Harry or Joan Jett?
Probably Joan Jett. Just from the I don't give a damn about my reputation.
Yeah.
Very iconic for that.
Very good thing that popped in my head there. Cover songs other than doing the one of your mother's. Is there any kind of cover that you kind of consider like, oh, when I play out, this is my thing that I like to do?
For a while, I don't know if you've heard the new Boy Genius album.
Of course.
Not Strong Enough. I love playing that song live. I don't do any justice to the 3-part harmony, but I don't care.
That's incredible.
I love the lyrics. It's so good.
Yeah, that album kind of blew me away in that before it came out, I was like, and all the hype was around it. I was like, what? I mean, like I like these guys, but where's all this hype coming from? And then I heard the album, and I was like, all right, it was justified. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, they're gonna come up again in later Jauntlet questions.
Okay. All right. Good. Next one, Aretha Franklin or Tina Turner?
Aretha Franklin.
Okay, I respect
her
that.
voice is just such a powerhouse.
Hell yeah. Nirvana or Pearl Jam?
Nirvana. I think that was also probably more my time frame.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam's really good, but I don't have like the 90s nostalgia that I have for Nirvana.
Okay, I dig it. Janis Joplin or Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah?
Loved her in that American Horror Story episode.
Yes. Wasn't that phenomenal?
What was she doing there? That was hysterical.
I actually went to college with one of the people who played Kathy Bates' daughter in that season.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Small world. Next one, Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
The Beatles. My dad's obsessed with them. We have so much like Beatles merchandise like hanging up around the walls here, and like I couldn't escape childhood without listening to them.
That's awesome. The last one of the one-hit wonders, Bohemian Rhapsody or Stairway to Heaven?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Hell yeah.
Something about that song just makes me feel like I'm transcending somewhere. I don't know.
Sure. No, definitely. It's just it to me, that song is magical. Like it's there's nothing like it, man. Occasionally I like to throw a little curveball and add one specifically for the guest that I am speaking to. And I'm going to add one more to the one hit wonders for you. And it is Jesus or Elvis. See what I did there?
No, I think that's great. I'm going to say Jesus just because Elvis didn't date a 14-year-old. I haven't forgotten that. I saw Priscilla.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. Very good answer.
Thank you. They won't cancel me.
I like it. Very good. The next section is the top 10 countdown. In this, I'm sure you know, we use Jawn to be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be music. Number one, what was your first Jawn? What was the first thing you were obsessed with as a kid?
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
I love that Back to Black record. I used to play it all the time. It's so good. So good.
She is someone who I feel like, a lot of times you hear things like when people say like, oh, we were robbed too young, blah, blah, blah. But we were robbed like of just greatness.
Oh, I saw the documentary with my family when it first came out. It was gut wrenching. Oh,
yeah.
my poor girl.
For real. Like I'm really interested in this biopic that's coming out because I think they can't use her music, which I'm just like, that's like one of the most important pieces of it. But
I don't know. That's unfortunate if that's true.
yeah. Number 2, what's your current Jawn? What are you into now?
The new Beyonce album.
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah. The morning it came out, I made my boyfriend listen to all of it with me at like the crack of dawn in bed. So good. The things she does with production, that's like you talked about being a production nerd. That album, like really, I was sitting down with dad being like, do you hear this? Do you hear this?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody. I have a spin-off podcast because I don't like free time, and in it we kind of just talk about music and new songs and stuff like that. And I was saying, American Requiem might be my favorite song one that I've heard in like absolutely forever because it just like I sat there dumbfounded and like I'm not really a Beyonce fan. Like I have beyond respect for Beyonce. And I think she's incredible. I just have this weird thing where I don't ever always feel emotion from her when she's singing. Like, and like, yeah. Look at me just going to nitpick. I'm going to nitpick the hell out of Beyonce, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, but American Requiem, I was like, oh, this is different. This feels completely different.
I mean, that whole American Requiem, that she had a song called Daughter that really got me. That was beautiful. And then of course I like the ones, like the hype ones that you can get up and dance. She's so good at that. She nails it every time.
It's incredible that you mentioned Daughter because those are my two favorite. That and American Requiem are my two favorite songs in the album. See, high five. Number 3, what was your first concert?
Taylor Swift. Well, okay, technically my mom, because but my first real concert was Taylor Swift. The Red.
What? Red? You said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So good.
Where was that at? What level were we at there at that point?
I'm going to say Lincoln Financial Field, but I'm not totally sure. It might have been Wells Fargo. It was definitely one of them. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, so I'll put this out there. I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, but I mentioned this a few episodes ago, but I DJ'd a daddy-daughter dance for a bunch of elementary school kids, and even as much of a Taylor Swift fan as I am, the amount of Taylor Swift requests that I got, and not just for like hits and stuff like that. I mean, like deep album cuts and stuff like that. And then they were like, "Can you play the 10-minute version of All Too Well?" I was like, "I can, but what are we doing here?" But
what are we doing here? I think I saw your tweet about that. You were saying all the dads were asking for Love Story.
Yeah. This is a great night. Number 4, what was your last live show you saw?
Boy Genius. I pulled a confuddle a little bit and I saw Boy Genius at the Man, I believe, and then at a festival in Maryland the day after. So they are crazy. They're like powerhouse. They come at you with like the loud guitar and they're running around, flipping around on stage. They're so much fun.
That's awesome. I made this joke that I want Boy Genius to kind of be just an idea that occurs where 3 powerhouses get together all the time, 3 female powerhouses. And my next one, I don't know how familiar you are with these bands, but my next one is I want Liz from the Beths. And I want Sadie Dupuis from Speedy Ortiz, and I want Sarah Tudson from Illuminati Hotties to put a hard Boy Genius together. So
incredible!
I'm just going to keep
try to get that in the dictionary.
Right?
Yeah, I will help you on that.
All right. See, I'm getting a piano, and you're going to help me make this happen in the dictionary. I love it.
Absolutely.
We're making things happen. Number 5. What was your favorite concert? Best show you saw?
Definitely their Boy Genius. Or I saw the Eras tour last year, which I don't even know if you can call that a concert. It was like a production. And so many millions of dollars went into that. Rightly so. It was fantastic.
Yeah. The entire Taylor kind of explosion in the past year, like she was already big, but somehow I'm like, how did you get bigger? Like there was a ceiling and you just flew through it.
Yeah. There's nothing stopping her. She's she's going everywhere. Did you hear she's like gonna step into like the realm of directing, like movie directing?
Really?
She's coming after everything. Nothing's safe.
That's crazy. It's like I just talked to somebody about Jason Kelsey being able to sing and stuff like that, and I was like, can the Pro Bowl Center like let us have something? Like, can Taylor just let us direct things? Like, come on, you can't do it all. Well, she can.
Oh.
She said, "Au contraire."
Yeah.
Number 6. Who have you never seen live that you wish you would have? They can be living or dead.
I had Hosier originally written down because I would have loved I've always seen videos of him in concert, and he's up there shredding his guitar, being 7 feet tall, and he is incredible. Freddie Mercury, just to call back to Bohemian Rhapsody, I would have loved to see him live, specifically the Live Aid concert, the really famous one.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
the way that he could command a stage and an audience, I've never seen anything like it, and I feel like I'll never see anything like it again. Like, it's incredible.
I'm sure there's like a tension in the air just even watching it. Like, you can feel how much he's got the whole crowd in his hand. It's even on camera.
You speak about Live Aid. I had a guest on here. I don't know how familiar you are with Eric Bazillion of the Hooters, but he said he left. They played. They were like the opening act. They played, and he left and went home, and then just came back for the finale. I'm like, wait, what?
You didn't stay and watch the whole thing?
Nope, he left. But he did say he had something personal going on. And
well, that's all right. I guess it's all right. I guess all right.
Still, I don't know. I don't know how personal it could be. It was Live Aid. Number 7, name an unappreciated Jawn, something you wish had more attention to it.
Lord's last album she just did, Solar Power. No one, I guess people were kind of expecting more like drama from her, but I was very low key. I really liked it. It was very good, like reading a book, beach weather songs. Yeah.
That's awesome. I have this weird thing where I forget. I'm now forgetting new releases when they come out, because I forgot that album existed, and I was like, oh yeah, I did like that. Until you just said it right there. So awesome answer, very good.
Thank you.
Number 8, what's your favorite album?
This changes constantly by like the week or the season, but the most recent album I listened to, where I finished it and I was like holy shit, what did I just listen to? Ethel Cain, Preacher's Daughter. I don't know if you've listened to this yet. It's kind of like folky rock. It like lives in that realm. So good. She like constructs this whole storyline of this girl who's living in like the middle of nowhere, deep south, and runs away and has crazy life. It's just a very good album.
That's awesome. It's going on the list. I will definitely check that out. I have so last year, trying to put together my top 10 albums of 2023. I ended up I ended up with 30 of them because I couldn't settle on 10. And so this year I was like, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a spreadsheet of the things I listen to. And then that way I'll just have an actual, like, I can actually just go, well, these are the 10, and that's easy because it's right here. We're in Q1. We just ended Q1 of 2024. First of all, I've listened to 148 new releases this year.
Wow.
Yeah. And I jokingly said to somebody, I was like, hey, what are your top 3 albums so far of 2024? And he gave me 3. And then he was like, what are yours? And I was like, oh, I can't just pick 3. And so like I'm already failing what I tried to avoid by doing all of this. So
that's all right.
But
I'm so indecisive.
Yeah. With all that said, I'm still going to check the Ethel Cain album out.
You should. It's truly a listening experience.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Number 9, who's an artist whose output you'll consume anything they put out?
You probably could have guessed this from me, but Taylor Swift, without a doubt, every time. I will sat on whenever her newest one is coming out.
It will be in the past. Yeah, it'll be in the past from when this releases, but it's not this Friday, but next Friday.
Yes.
And I'm right there with you. Like, I'm really interested specifically because she went real Lana Del Rey with these song titles, and I'm really interested to see what that means.
I think I've heard I heard she had Florence Welch on it, which I'm like, immediately they're doing something incredible together. I don't know what it is, but it's something. I've heard it described as like a mix between like soft rock and like 2000s pop, which is interesting. I'm not sure what that gives me, but I'm excited. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, my computer just like.
Oh, yeah, you're still there. We're good.
Okay.
No, yeah, I'm super excited for that. I did not. I did the limited edition of the 1989 Taylor's version, and then she kept putting out more and more limited editions. So I drew the line on this one, and I'm not limited editioning this one, but
I let myself buy one.
yeah. See,
I'm cutting myself off after this.
yeah, she knows what she's doing, because I don't know if you saw the vinyl sales from last year, but of the top 10, I think 5 of them were hers. So,
she's billionaire now, so she's doing freaking right, I guess.
That's right. She's the Travis Kelce baby mama, sugar mama. I got that wrong.
Yeah, yes.
That's what I meant. It's his sugar mama.
No, that's I've been thinking it.
The 10th and final of the top 10 countdown. What is your favorite Jawn of all time? Can be anything you want it to be.
Build Me Up Buttercup by the Foundations. I have a really nostalgic emotion attached to that song. My sister used to play it in the car all the time, and I'll still listen to it if I'm like upset about something. It'll cheer me right up.
That is incredible. It is one of the most joyous songs. Like, I have songs that like will just immediately put a smile on my face, and that is definitely like a top 5 smile on my face.
So good. So good.
Have you ever heard and now I forget whose song it was. It might be whose actual song it was. It might be Rhyme Fest. But there's a version of it of Build Me Up Buttercup, and I think it's just called Buttercup, that has Old Dirty Bastard singing the chorus. And if you want pure joy, just
I'm gonna look it up immediately after this is over. I'm very curious.
It's a lot of fun. So the album, write it down, comes out May 10th. And will be on all the streaming. What do you have a date for that? The next show? What's your next? The
one here at the studio is scheduled for May 18th, which is going to be super fun. And try to get all the band that worked on it out to come play with me, and then still trying to pin down a date for the Royal. But it'll be out there. I'll let everyone know.
That's incredible. If these cool cats and kittens who listen to this show want to find you on the internet, what's the best way to track your socials?
If you want to go on Instagram and find me at Ciara.Grace, I've got a link in my bio that'll take you to anything involving me anytime. So that's a pretty good way to do it.
It's awesome. Ciara, thank you so much for doing this. I absolutely cannot wait to see everything that you continue to create, because if this album is a testament to any of it, you have your own series of errors that I cannot wait to experience.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My many thanks again to Ciara for joining me on the show today. Be sure to check out her debut album, Write It Down, which drops this Friday, May 10th, wherever you stream music. And on Saturday, May 18th, she celebrates her CD release with a show at Morningstar Studios in East Norton at 7 p.m. And then on August 8th, she takes the stage at the Lounge at World Cafe Live at 8 p.m. Tickets and info can be found on her website at www.ciaragracemusic.com. And you can follow her on the socials at Ciara.Grace on Instagram, at Ciara Grace Music on Twitter X, and at Ciara Bratt, BRATT, on TikTok. Links to all of those are, of course, as always, in the show notes. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast wherever you get your podcast from. And y'all, it is never too late to get yourself a super awesome Jawn Scout Merit Badge for Citizenship of the World just by rating and reviewing us. Don't forget to visit www.yothat'smyjawn.com for the link tree with links to articles, merchandise, all of the previous episodes of this podcast, guest appearances on other podcasts, and more. And while you are there, please be sure to sign up for our mailing list to get all of the updates delivered straight into your inbox. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YoThat'sMyJawn for updates and live streams. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter X at Yo That's My Jawn, and search Yo That's My Jawn on YouTube to find the Yo That's My Jawn YouTube channel. Like and subscribe the heck out of that ish.
We want to hear from you. Reach out, and touch some Jawn. All right, y'all. I want to thank everyone who passed along their birthday wishes. It means so much to this old dude. Much appreciated. But now, if y'all excuse me, I gotta go refresh the feed because I gotta see if Kendrick has something else to say. Blue skies. Until next time, everybody.
That's my Jawn.
Displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. You taste it, things that don't need to be measured.
Yo, That's My Jawn is a Lonely Monk production. Written and produced by yours truly, Nate Runkle. Theme song by me, under the moniker Nate 3.0. Special thanks to Fox Run Brands, DX Ferris, Andrew Scott, Maggie Poulos, Dan Drago, Natalie Runkle, and the beautifully vibrant and wickedly stunning Katie Daubney. If you or anyone you know has any ideas they would like to share or any guests they would like to hear on the podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at yothat'smyjawn@gmail.com or hit us up on the socials at yothat'smyjawn. Until next time, be sure to displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. Tilt your head back and shout to the world, yo, that's my Jawn.